Well, this is one of our sort of accidental successes here. So as you're looking around this field, there's a pretty good stand of grass here that wasn't really seeded with the intent of actually even letting it go to grass. What we did is we put a pound of orchard grass in with our cover crop seed that we seeded at like 20 pounds an acre, the total mix, right? And so in that mix, we had the orchard grass just with the thought that maybe we could keep something green going into fall after the oats and the warm season grasses and all that stuff matured out. Well, it was really weird. That first year that it was in cover crop, you didn't really see a lot of the orchard grass. But then this spring, when we came out here, we're like, holy smokes, you know, instead of a bunch of volunteer oats, well, we dug this stuff up. This pound of orchard grass turned into this. And this stuff, so we never came and touched it on this field just to see what would happen. We just let it go. We let it grow up. It got pretty close to setting seed, but it was still pretty green, and we were in a bad drought. So we thought, well, we'll just use this. So we came in and we grazed over this pretty heavy for a couple of weeks and pulled back off of it. And now, as you can see behind us, we've got a pretty respectable stand of grass on only 4 or 5 inches of rain. So sometimes it's weird when you just let stuff go just to see what will happen. It actually works out. Sometimes it doesn't. This is the root mass, just the part I could tear off that's under this one plant here in the ground. So besides the fact that we still have something green that's feeding the microbes in the ground here and capturing sunlight, we are going to have actually what appears to be pretty good, hopefully 3 or 4 years of grazing before we have to break this back out. And it'll be fun to watch what happens with the organic matter. I think next year we're going to come in here and kind of sweeten this up with something other than monocrop orchard grass. So we might try and seed into it with some sandfoin and some pollinator mix and maybe some more diverse grass species and see if we can get any of that to catch. Because some of this, the stand's a little bit thin in, obviously, for a pound seeding rate. But overall, for 1 pound of grass seed, that was just part of a cover crop mix that ended up costing us, I think it was like $2 an acre or something. It's pretty ridiculous what happened here just because we didn't do anything to it. So hopefully we have more success stories for you guys like this. The other weird thing with this orchard grass is it actually stayed green even through that terrible drought where we only had 2 inches of rain. This stuff had some green up in it still. It's really starting to do good now that we got this 2 inches of rain this fall. But we'll share with you what happens next year with this. We'll try that seeding a little something into it, then just leave it alone and then keep watching the organic matter hopefully keep coming up in this field. It's in a good spot where we could easily spray it out and go back to farming it. So this is going to be kind of the fun start of our perennial cropping that is intended to be rotated back into annual crops at some point.